So you want to know how to mobilize your hip joint. Well, today we're going to take you out on the gym floor. Well, I'm going to take you out on the gym floor and I'm going to show you a simple daily routine that gives you instant back pain relief. We are the gym that teaches people how to move instead of just exercise, because we believe that health is about performance, not just body image. All right, so as you can see, I'm here on my own. In case we haven't met, my name is Yanni Baumeister. I'm Rad's brother and co-founder of the Foundation Movement System and Unity Gym right here in North Sydney, Australia, where we teach people how to nourish and move instead of diet and exercise. Rad has a severe case of man flu today, and I've tagged him out because he can't really stop coughing. But we've got a really good show for you in store, because this routine that I'm going to show you today was actually taught to us by our go-to resident guru, chiropractor and physical therapist, none other than Tom Cartwright. We have had him on the show a few times before. He's a brilliant chiropractor and physical therapist, and he's done a lot of work with a woman called Sarah Key, and she is best known because she was the physiotherapist for the Queen and the royal family for many, many years over in England. She's now, I think, back in Australia, and she has the Sarah Key method, which is a really, really interesting and unique way of treating back pain. They specialise in lower back pain, but really just spinal care in general. And she's brilliant, and we've learnt little bits and pieces from her method, and we've used it and taught it to our clients here at Unity Gym, and it is a really, really great little routine. The routine that we're going to show you today is the first thing I ever learnt from Sarah Key, taught to me by Tom, and it has helped us a lot, and it's also helped our clients a lot, so we thought we'd share it with you guys. What we need to do, when we're, first of all, disclaimer, there are many different degrees and levels of back pain and an issue. And if you've got like severe back pain, nerve problems, disc bulges that are really, really hitting or pressing in on your nerves, you're going to have to be pretty gentle. The stretches, I'm going to show you 3 really good bang for your buck stretches to do. But if you've got really acute back pain and problems where the nerves are really badly impinged, then the stretches are probably not the best idea for you. The other routine is fantastic. It is very good for you, but the stretches might be a little bit more aggressive. So just please, I do always recommend, no matter what we show you here, if you're in pain, that you seek the guidance of a physical therapist or a physiotherapist, because they are going to be able to determine to a better degree when they're working with you in person what you should and shouldn't be doing. We can't generalize that on a show like this. It's too difficult. So let's just make sure that that's absolutely made clear. Always work with a physical therapist, especially if you're in a lot of pain. But until you've had a diagnosis, you're not really going to know what you should and shouldn't do. For everyone else, and if you are able to do a little bit of movement and you're okay with that, then let's go out on the gym floor. If Richard sets up the gimbal, we get ready, and we'll get this cracking. We on?
Yeah, we are on.
All right. So the first thing I'll say is, when I've worked with a Sarah Key methodologist, they make a very clear point of when we work out in the gym. I mean, when I finish this this show, I'm going to hit it straight onto deadlifts and do 10 sets of deadlifts. A lot of the work we do in the gym is tightening down the lower back, and that's all good when we're lifting heavy weight. But we really should be doing something, and this is a philosophy from Sarah Key, we really should be doing something that loosens everything up, and we need to learn to relax and switch off the muscles again so that they can naturally align themselves. And that's really what the routine of today is. First of all, I'll show you the 3 exercises and stretches that I want you to do. So I've got a couple of yoga blocks here. I'm just going to set up a couple of mats on the floor as well to elevate my front foot. So the first one we're going to do is a piriformis stretch, and I'm going to show you 2 examples of that. So what we're doing here, if Richie just pans over, we're actually shooting an exercise tutorial. We've had a lot of people request that we get to the point and show the gold nuggets in a properly edited video. Thank you for your feedback. We do our best to give you what you guys want. So we've got a photographer here, Kalisha, shooting it properly, and she's going to edit it into a nice sort of to-the-point video. So you have to excuse me because I'm going to talk to this camera as we do the demo. And you guys get a behind-the-scenes look at what's going on. So the first stretch that we're going to do is for the piriformis. There are two examples of this, and that is the easier version to raise the front knee off the ground. Now you have to excuse me because my pants and the equipment I've got here are going to be a little bit limiting to what I can stretch, and I feel like these are tearing already. It's fantastic. So I've got the knee raised. It helps me keep my hip nice and straight like this, and that's what we want. We want the pelvis level as we stretch here. The other alternative to this is a 90-90 stretch where we go onto the floor. And you can see now that I'm leaning over, but it's harder for me to level my hips here. So I really need to be able to posture up. If you struggle with that, then elevating the front knee is probably a better option for you, okay? So that's the piriformis stretch. We can lean over the knee to get it a deeper stretch. We can rotate over the foot to sort of bring the stretch more into the adductors a little bit. And it's a really nice stretch to do as a nice little rotational drill like that. And I'll repeat that obviously on the other side. I wore the world's worst stretching pants here. These are literally going to just tear apart, but that's okay. We're just going to have to deal with it. So, other side, get a bit of rotation through the hip. Remembering what I said before, if you've got a really acute back pain where the nerves are being impinged, this is probably not the best idea for you to stretch aggressively. It could make the pain worse. I do recommend seeing a physiotherapist first, okay? The next one we're going to do is an extension lift with focus point. Now, the idea behind the focus point here is that it helps to keep our pelvis still. We don't want to move our body at all. All we want to move is the lower limb. So we're going to be targeting specifically the psoas muscles, psoas major and minor, which are the hip flexor muscles. And this is a really good sort of contract, relax stretch that we do here. So if I take a knee like this, my focus point is on the yoga blocks. I've linked these in the description because we are going to use them in the Sarah Key method as well. These are actually Sarah Key yoga blocks. She's got diagrams of exercises to do and some information on here. The ones that I've linked are just straight from Amazon. They're a little bit more affordable, to say the least, but they're the same thing. Okay, so what I'm doing here, I'm holding onto the focus point so that my body doesn't move. I'm getting my pelvis into what we call posterior pelvic tilt. Maybe I'll repeat that so you guys can really see what I'm doing. Just going to move this little bit of speaker equipment, microphone equipment. Okay, so going from APT, anterior pelvic tilt, to posterior pelvic tilt. Hopefully you guys can see what I've done there. Now from here is where I'm going to push my knee backward to extend that stretch. The only movement that you should have seen there is my heel pushing backwards. I'll repeat that again. Anterior pelvic tilt, posterior pelvic tilt. Now I use the focal point, which are these two blocks, to hold me still, and I push my knee back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. And again, holding onto the focus point, pushing back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, relax. One more time, holding my focus point, holding my posterior pelvic tilt. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now I'm going to hold it there for as long as I can. Pushing as hard as I can with my heel going backwards. I'm not intentionally lifting my knee, but I am intentionally holding that posterior pelvic tilt, and I'm intentionally pushing my heel backward to extend that stretch. So I'll repeat on the other side, and that is a really good release for the hip flexor. Don't know if it's worth me doing this way, or should I spin around? Spin around? Come straight on, yeah. I'll change it up. Just talking to my camera crew here about what's going to be best for you guys. Okay, so we got my focus point here, going from anterior pelvic tilt to posterior pelvic tilt. Hopefully you can see that with all my gear here hanging in the pocket. Now I'm going to extend. So the extension in the name of the exercise is because I'm extending my hip, I'm extending my leg backward, going into hip extension as opposed to hip flexion. For 5 seconds, relax. Make sure that I go from anterior pelvic tilt to posterior pelvic tilt, holding onto my focus point, pushing back into extension. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. This isn't a Zen moment. This isn't a time to just wig out and go Zen. You are pushing. You're really pushing a contraction into that hip flexor by extending the pelvis, pushing the heel backward. Last time, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now I'm going to hold it there. Not a lot of movement happening here. It's pretty intense. And relax. Woo! And you can hold that for up to 30 seconds. I'm not strong enough to do it because I'm pushing so hard, but it's pretty intense as you can see. Okay, the last one I want to do is a a hamstring stretch. The muscles that most cross and affect the hips are the glutes, hip flexors, hamstrings. So those are the 3 stretches I'm going to focus on today. Now the hamstrings, I'm a huge fan of loaded hamstring stretching. And the first loaded hamstring stretch we do is just using our own body weight. So if I stand up here, Kalicia's going to have to readjust the camera. You all good? Yep. So the first hamstring stretch we're going to do, and we use this a lot in our program, is that we go onto a single leg. So my foot here is just sort of resting on my ankle, and then we want to keep a totally neutral spine. So we do not want to bend in the spine at all. And I'm a big fan of using your own hand here to create a little proprioception so that you can feel it. So I'm using my little fingers down at the bottom of my sort of ischium crest of my pelvis, and my thumbs sort of almost on the 12th rib, the lower rib, so that I can tell if there's much movement going on in my trunk. And then I'm just doing a single leg good morning, keeping my leg nice and straight, working down. The element of balance here is great for the 3 hamstring tendons. They're really having to work. This is a loaded stretch. And what we call, we call this at Unity Gym progressive loaded mobility, because we can progressively load it. There are many different ways that we can load this stretch by increasing the weight, holding external weight. We can then hold dumbbells. We can go to a bilateral stretch where we do both legs at the same time, but we load it with heavy weight. And I'm just doing 5 repetitions. And then on the last rep, I'm going to go down really straight, and I'm going to hold that for 10 seconds or 10 deep breaths. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. 2. Inhale, exhale. I'm still balancing, still trying to keep my other foot off the ground. My hamstrings are working very, very hard to hold me here. And you would repeat that for 10 breaths and then repeat on the other side. Now, those are the 3 stretches that I want you to do. Remember, we only do the stretches if we're not in acute pain, like if you've got really bad nerve entrapment. Skip the stretches, go straight into what we're about to do now. We'll just move this gear out of the way. So there are 4 exercises we're going to do, and the last one we are going to need to purchase one of these. When we did the extensions with focus point, you don't need 2 of them. You can use one of them, so you only need to buy one of them. And they're about, I think I saw that they were $10 on Amazon for the one that I've linked. These ones are about $40, so go the Amazon way. All right, the first thing we're going to do here is loosen up. I'm just going to put my mic box out there. Hands under the chin, feet together. We're going to look straight down, and we're going to just wiggle the hips. This is it. This is the exercise. Nice and relaxed. Remember, what we're trying to do here, as I said at the start, is loosen up. Tell the muscles to switch off. Tell the body to loosen up and allow. The discs in the lower back are like sponges. We want them hydrated and we want them gapped. We want them sitting in their most natural position. So it's very, very important that you understand that, these 4 drills that I'm about to show you, they're very gentle. They're almost passive. They're not really loading or exerting force or anything, okay? And you can do this for 2, 3 or 3 minutes, just side to side. It's not a big movement. It's quite subtle. And it's literally just rocking from side to side. Keeping the feet together, keeping the rest of the body still. Okay, now we're going to roll onto our back. And the second drill, we're going to cross the feet, as I had in the thumbnail of this video. We're going to hold our knees, brace our knees, and using our upper body, we're going to just do a very gentle rock back and forward so as to gap the lumbar spine. So we're trying to get a little bit of flexion into the lower back. We're pumping synovial fluid into those discs. We're gapping the discs and we're just gently triggering the central nervous system to back off the muscles, relax, and let that lower back sort of settle. And you can again repeat this for sort of 2 to 3 minutes. Nice and gentle. It's meant to be quite a small movement. It shouldn't be a really big aggressive movement. You shouldn't be rocking back and forward like this. It's not about that. It's just about gapping the spine, switching the muscles off, teaching your body to relax properly. The next drill is a little bit harder. We're going to place the hands on the floor, feet in the same position. This time we're actually going to use our lower abdominals and our core muscles to do the movement. So now we're not relying on the upper body to do the movement. Same thing, but now we're engaging the core muscles a little bit. And this one's a little bit harder. For some of you, you might be a bit shaky. For some of you, your abdominals will fatigue really quickly if you don't have a strong core. That's okay. Just do what you can and maybe try to do 30 to 60 seconds on this harder drill. And this is the third drill in this routine. And this is a daily routine. You can do this every single day, especially if you're in a bit of pain. This has proven to alleviate lower back pain for our clients instantly. It's very, very powerful. Okay, and the final drill is where we're going to use the yoga block. Now, notice that it's got 2 sides here. It's actually got 3 if we put it up like that. So the first one that we're going to do is using the flattest side, and we're going to place it. There's no perfect position here. It should just feel like it's under your tailbone, right under the tailbone. And then we're going to extend the legs together. So we're getting a little bit of a passive hip open up here, a little bit of a hip flexor stretch, and then we just relax on here. And this is just putting the spine into a nicely, quite a gentle extended position. Nice and easy. And that's the easier version. If you don't feel much of a stretch here, and we want to hold this for a couple of minutes again, if you don't feel much of a stretch, you can go to the second position, which is where we rotate the block and we use the higher side. Again, placing it under your tailbone. There's no perfect. It should just feel slightly comfortable for you. And then we extend over. Same thing again. We just relax here for about 2 minutes. And this is the one that I do. I'm a little bit more flexible in the hip flexors, so I can do this quite comfortably. And this is a really nice, gentle, passive way to extend the hips and really back off. And it's important that you do those 4 drills or these 4 drills in this sequence, in this order. This is the best way to do it. Nice and easy, and I would lie here for about 2 minutes. And that is all of these drills, not the stretches, just the drills at the end, were taught to us by our chiropractor, and he was taught by Sarah Key, who is a very, very good physical therapist and physiotherapist. made famous by being the physiotherapist for the Queen and the royal family in England. And she specialises in lower back. She's got some really great resources on YouTube. If you are suffering lower back pain and you don't know who Sarah Key is, I highly recommend that you look into her. She's got physiotherapists all over the world that train under her method and deliver outstanding results with their clients. We've been treated, myself, Rad and Kalisha behind the camera has been treated by a Sarah Key physiotherapist. And it was really, really good. It was really worth doing. Now, that's pretty much it. Those are the 4 drills. Remember, the idea behind this is to teach your body to loosen up the lower back. We spend a lot of time tightened and contracted. And part of the problem is because of the fact that we don't know how to switch those muscles off. So the Sarah Key routine that I've shown you here is really designed to switch everything off and tell everything to relax so that it can get on with healing and get out of the way of the healing process. That's pretty much it. So let's just shoot an intro for that. Yeah? Do you want to swap the lenses over for the intro? No? Just do it with that? Yep. All right, folks, no, keep going, keep filming. You can see behind the scenes how we do our quick little intros here. As I said before, we're just taking on the feedback that we've got from a lot of you guys to try and deliver videos of content that gets to the point much quicker. So here we go. So you want to know how to mobilize your hips. In today's video, I'm going to take you through a really easy routine for instant lower back pain relief. I'm also going to show you 3 of our favorite stretches to alleviate tension that often causes lower back pain. All that and more coming up. And an outro. So that's it, guys. That's the 3 stretches. Remember, I did say if you are in really severe pain and you have nerve impingement, always seek advice from a physiotherapist, especially before doing aggressive stretching, contract, relax, or loaded mobility drills like I demonstrated in that video. But the Sarah Key routine of the 4 exercises that we did on the floor are suitable for anyone, and I highly recommend doing it. You will need to grab one of the yoga blocks. I've done a bit of shopping on Amazon for you. It's very important that you get a high density one. This is a cork block because the regular yoga blocks, the foam ones, aren't hard enough for the release drill, for the extension drill at the end. So I've linked a cork one in there. It's $10 on Amazon, US Amazon. If you're anywhere else in the world, just click through, it'll take you to your Amazon and you should be able to get a good deal. They range from like $10 to $50. So yeah, anyway. That's it, guys. See you in the next video. Cool? Yeah? Should I do the in case we haven't met yet? No? All good? All right, let's go back into the studio and wrap this sucker up. Okay. Oh. We back on the big cam? Yep. All right, we're back. So that's how we do it here, guys. We do try to produce a bit of content in both formats, but to be honest, we have to employ a videographer to do the shorter form content because it requires editing and all that sort of stuff. We do have a new team member who is editing the videos now, so hopefully we'll try this out and see if it works and try and produce some more to the point content for you guys and for the people that like the long form and enjoy or get excited about seeing the behind the scenes. You can join us for the live shows still, and we'll sort of chat and elaborate more. The key take home from today's video is about learning to switch your muscles off. When we go to the gym, the majority of our training is about switching muscles on, and as a result, we often walk around with a lot of tension. Now that can become problematic when it's in structures of the body required to produce good posture. So these Sarah Key methods that we went through today, those drills are fantastic for teaching you how to switch everything off. Anyway, guys, we're out of time. Until tomorrow, I will see you soon. Health is about performance, not just body image.
You better be willing to accept what you're going to have to do to get there.
We'll start focusing on movement goals, strength goals, flexibility goals.
When you nail that skill, It's there forever.
The body image goal doesn't get you that
It's the
far.
consistency and frequency that's going to get you there. It's not the intensity.
There's no shortcuts to mastery and movement. Destination doesn't change overnight, but your direction will.
The gym is not the place to beat up the body that you hate. It's the place to build the body that you love.
We are the gym that teaches people how to move instead of just exercise, because we believe that health is about performance, not just body image.